everyone, Laura Wansick here, and I'm going to do a walkthrough of a vacation album that I made from a trip we took this summer to go see Minnesota, where my mom grew up. So it was a bunch of our family went, like extended family members, and then me and my daughter and my husband. So we drove to Chicago, and I took pretty good notes so that I kind of remembered all the details. We drove to Chicago, and then from there we took the Amtrak. This is a quote that a Chicago taxi driver, said. He was driving by and he slowed down and he told Ellie, "You are the best thing in the whole world." So I wrote that down because I thought that was so cute. So yeah, we took the Amtrak from Chicago to St. Paul, Minneapolis, and then we drove from there to the city where she was from. So I printed out this from the Amtrak system website. This was like a dream for a scrapbooker, this vacation, because there were just a lot of stories and a lot of just opportunities for photos, and it was just really fun. If you've never taken an Amtrak before, it's pretty cool. It's a good way to travel, I think, especially with a toddler, because we had a room. It was small, but our daughter could climb around, and so that was really nice that she could do that, because a 2-year-old on a plane sounds sort of miserable. So this is us touring in, I don't know if it's St. Paul or Minneapolis. And then visiting a museum. So when we went up there, it was actually the time right after Philando Castile had been shot. So it was actually, when we were going into Minneapolis was when they shut down the highway with protests, and we could hear from our hotel the fire bombs they were throwing, or some, firecracker or something they were throwing on the highway we could hear. So I thought that gives kind of context to the story. So I took a picture of the newspaper and then screenshotted the USA Today story about what happened. And this is the planning. The whole family, there was about 20 people, did the planning of what we were going to be touring. And this is the chart we made of all the places people were coming from Colorado and LA and Indiana and all those places. So this is my mom doing the planning, which I thought was pretty funny. And all of us looking at old pictures. This is the night before we went and toured all of the old homesteads. So these are all photos like from back in the day. And I love pictures of people looking at pictures. I just think it's really cool. And then we had a 5-car caravan. So I marked using these kind of who was in each car, and then journaled our trip. And then our first stop. So something that I did was that I used the voice memo app on my iPhone to record my mom talking and my aunts telling all the stories. So each place we went, I just recorded, and my plan was to transcribe everything that they said. So then, of course, my phone got run over by a car before I was able to download them onto my computer, and so I lost all of it, which I think is a good lesson to just, live in the moment and really absorb the stories as best you can, which I tried to do, but I only remembered so much. So I had started transcribing from my phone, but I had only gotten so far. So the stories are denser towards the beginning, and then as it goes on, these are like snippets of what I remember from her. And I talked to my mom so she could tell me a little bit more about what happened and what she had talked about. But that was a real loss. I'm really sad about that. This was her telling about how she remembered that door is where she came out the day that JFK was shot. And so that was kind of cool to hear, like, the different stories of where everybody was when JFK was shot. My dad shared where he was, and my mom and my aunts, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And I love this shot of everybody watching my mom talk. This was kind of the theme of the vacation, was like somebody telling a story and everybody watching, and I just thought that was like really cool. And then just kind of visiting some different places. And then this is the 165-acre farm that we all visited. So it's out in the middle of nowhere, which is really cool. And the owners weren't home, so they actually just, who knows? The person that owns this home could be watching this video right now. I have no idea. We drove up and took a couple pictures and then left. But that barn was there. They remembered it from back 50 years ago, I think it was. Almost 50 years, yeah. Pretty cool. And then all the fun time in the pool at the hotel. and then going to the hospital where my mom was born. This is the new part, and then this is the old entrance where my grandma would have gone and come out. I really appreciated someone taking a picture of me taking a picture, because this is what I looked like, you know, most of the vacation, taking photos. So I appreciated that. And this is the map and all the places we went. I've considered adding somewhere the distance between each place. I might still do that, I'm not sure. And then we went to Walnut Grove to go see Little House on the Prairie museum and all of that. I'm actually named after Laura Ingalls Wilder, so this was really a cool thing. And my husband loved Little House on the Prairie growing up. I don't even remember watching it, but so that was really neat for all of us. And we toured her dugout home, which was just crazy small, really interesting. And then this tells the story about how Ma Ingalls came to this place 2 days after we left, which was like devastating. We just missed her. And Miss Beadle had been there the weekend before, so that was kind of a sad time. There's me and Ellie in the schoolhouse. And then we went to On the Banks of Plum Creek, and my husband was reading On the Banks of Plum Creek to her, so he was hoping he could read her some of On the Banks of Plum Creek, On the Banks of Plum Creek, but she wasn't really cooperative, so he read like 3 words just so he could say he read it to her. And this was actually something at the gift shop. What is that thing on the side? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's my finger. This was at the gift shop for 50 cents, but I'm a bad person and I just took a picture of it. I guess I could have coughed up 50 cents, but you know, I never carry cash, so that's my rationale. And then I included that in there. It's a letter from Laura Ingalls Wilder, which was pretty cool to someone, I don't know. And then another thing that happened in the trip a lot was all of the kids, the cousins of my daughter were like obsessed with her. She was like a celebrity. And so I did this kind of spread about just everybody always being around her and entertaining her and looking at her, and it was just kind of cool. And then this is everybody looking at the albums that I had brought. So I, of course, am the family scrapbooker, so I made like all these heritage albums of pictures from back in the day, and then we all sat and looked through those albums together, which was pretty cool. Then this is it wrapping up our last dinner together, and then headed back to the Twin Cities. Then we went to the Mall of America. I went to Lush and bought a bath bomb and a glitter lotion bar, which was magical. We happened to run into my cousins who were going there, but we didn't know that we were gonna see each other there, so that was pretty cool. Then at the hotel, eating and FaceTiming again, and then back on the train. This card, I talk about all the ways that we kept her entertained, like Daniel Tiger. Eating on the Amtrak train. There's them in front of the train, which was, I was like, oh, I have to get a shot of that, because they break every so often so you can get out and get some fresh air. So, because usually when you're boarding it, it's like inside, at least in our experience, it was inside of the building, so it wasn't a very good photo op. And the last one is my husband playing the mandolin that he bought on the trip, and you can see the train in the background. And then this is this is like the itinerary, some things I put in here. Just some like ephemera kind of stuff. So thanks for watching.